Cops fatally shoot 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This is H-Chan, the Sensei. Students, welcome back. New viewers, everyone, thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Make sure you continue to do that. Today in class, we're going to talk about DJ Envy and his opinion on Ma'Khia Bryant being shot and killed by that police officer. Here's the video. Tell me what you think.
Also spoke out, and this is what the mom said.
I've always had sympathy for the Breonna Taylor story and her family, and now I know what it feels like to lose a child. I want the killing in the world to stop, and that's what Ma'Khia would want. Ma'Khia was peaceful, she was loving, she wanted everybody to get along, she was a Christian.
I stand on the fact that I think it was excessive, and I do not think that young girl should be dead today, even if this is one that's legally justified. Sadly, it doesn't mean it's right, because police have shown us over and over that when it comes to black people, the only way they deal with us is fatal force. It's just way too many examples of police officers, being threatened, themselves being threatened, with knives from white folks and not responding in that way. I've heard social workers say they've broken up knife fights. I refuse to believe that was the only way to handle that situation is by shooting her 4 times.
Yeah, I don't agree with you on this one. I mean, the cop got a call that said that, these women were jumping somebody. They hop out the car and see a woman, going at another woman with a knife. Yeah, maybe if they would have shot her in the foot, who's to say, or shot her in the leg, who's to say that she still couldn't stab the young girl?
So you don't think 4 times was excessive?
No,
wow.
I honestly don't.
Wow.
And the reason I don't think that is because everybody sees one side. But now think about the other side. Think about that was your daughter about to get stabbed. You want them to dead.
We keep saying that. We
stop the person from doing it.
We keep saying that, but
that's the truth.
No, I'm a father. That's my daughter. I'm not a police officer who's there to protect and serve.
They are there
everyone.
to protect and serve.
So
everyone. They are there.
We keep saying that. It's different when I'm a father and a daughter. And I still don't know if I would shoot a girl 4 times.
Yeah,
no, that's excessive.
You can use deadly force when somebody else is in harm, and in that situation, that girl was in harm.
Police officers use deadly force with us all the time.
That doesn't mean it. That doesn't make it right.
Even when nobody is in danger. That's how they approach us all the time. Fatal force cannot be the only option when it comes to dealing with black people. There's a million videos you can see of black people complying. Black people laying on the ground in handcuffs. Black people like in a situation like Ma'Khia Bryant. Like the Latino boy from last week in Chicago. It's fatal force every single time. There's got to be another way to deal with us.
You can say that 1,000,001 times, but every case is different. And in this case, if I pull up to a scene and see a girl chasing another girl about to stab a girl, my job as a police officer is to make sure that girl does not get killed.
Absolutely.
And the law allows me to stop that killing or that stabbing by any means necessary. That's what that law allows me to do. And on both sides, if my daughter was about to get stabbed, I would want that person taken down, shot, or anything by any means necessary. And that's what a cop's job's to do, to protect and to serve. And
they don't do that.
That cop protected that young girl. Now, we could talk about every case and talk about, well, what about this case? What about that case? But you can't, you got to talk case by case.
Well, let me ask you a question.
All those other cases might have been wrong, but in this case, that cop made a split decision to say, you know what, I'm saving this girl's life.
Do you really think that cop cared about that girl in the pink? Because if he cared about that girl in the pink, why would you shoot 4 times? She was right there. She could have got hit too. You really think he cared about that girl in the pink that much? If he cared so much, why didn't he look sad after it was over? Why did he say Blue Lives Matter after it was over? If he was such a good cop like you said, and he was just there to save lives, why was there no remorse?
We can move the goalpost on every time we talk about the story. We are. But now it's like, did he shoot right or shoot wrong? Okay, well, if he shot right, then how come he looked sad after? Well, how come after he didn't tie his shoes? Like, we can move the goalpost in every situation. But in that situation, that cop possibly saved that girl's life.
He did save her life. But once again, just because something is legally justified doesn't mean it's right. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't have intervened.
You just said he saved the girl's life.
What are you talking about?
You just said he possibly saved that girl's life.
Yo, absolutely. But once again, just because something is legally justified doesn't mean that it's right. Just because he could have intervened without killing that girl. I truly believe that. He could have intervened without killing that young lady. He could have intervened and protected that woman without killing that young lady. I watched the video of a white man getting stabbed in the neck.
See, we talking about another case.
No, talking about another case. Yo, it's common sense. A cop gets stabbed in the neck by a white man. chase the white guy with a gun, then put his gun away and then pulled out his taser to tase the kid.
That's another case, right? And he had time. He got stabbed. That guy didn't have that much time. That guy didn't have time to put his gun away and then take out a taser. By that time, that other girl probably would have got stabbed and been dead.
If you don't think that they deal with us differently than they do everybody else.
Of course they do, but each case is differently. And this case is a different case. Wow. That case is not the same as the one that you're talking about.
Show me a case where they haven't used fatal force.
Yeah, Envy, I'm really not a fan of that opinion, but as you see, Charlemagne isn't. Neither is Umar Johnson, because he ended up saying this, and you ain't even get a chance to speak.
5 cases, and the president still has not acted. The same president that told the Breakfast Club that if you black and don't vote for me, you ain't black. Well, why haven't you done anything for black people yet, Joe Biden?
And don't forget about the George Floyd Policing Act.
Oh, that still hasn't passed yet.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. But you passing bills for everybody else, but nothing for black people, and part of this is our fault.
Now let's talk about that. Ma'Khia Bryant in Ohio.
Ma'Khia Bryant.
Yeah.
They're claiming, and she the one who called the police. They're claiming that the police had a right to shoot her. Even Coons, Negroes are running around saying, well, she had a knife. So that justifies her being killed? Because I work in school, Charlemagne. I have seen lunchroom aides with no police training, no bulletproof vests, no night-proof vests, no gun in their pocket. I have seen elderly black women and elderly black men take knives and other weapons out of the hands of students during lunchroom riots. So you mean to tell me that a 60, 70-year-old man can disarm a teenager in a lunchroom, but a trained armed police with a bulletproof vest can't get a knife out of the hand of a 16-year-old, but yet and still you have white males who are conducting mass murders all across this country almost every other week. We're getting a mass murder in America, and almost every one of these fully armed, fully violent, murderous white men were apprehended by the police without being shot and without losing their life. So explain to me how a white man with an AK-47 can be taken without a police officer firing a bullet after he done murdered 6, 7, 8 people, but a 16-year-old girl with a butter knife cannot be apprehended without a bullet being shot. That is nonsense. They killed her because they knew they would get away with it.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I must be a coon because I don't agree with you on this one.
We're saying because white people in America have historically and systemically devalued black life, it has created a context where it is justifiable for police to kill black people even when we are innocent. That's the point that we're making.
Yeah, fatal force is always the option when it comes to black people.
Always the option.
I posted a video yesterday. A white guy has a knife. He's in front of the cop. He says, "You're about to die." He's swinging the knife at the cop and everything. The cop never once reaches for his gun.
But take it to another level. Look at the Capitol riots.
Oh, yeah.
Was that January 6th?
January 6th, yeah.
A whole mob overran the governmental complex of the most powerful white government in the world. And the police almost did nothing at all. If black folks had done the same thing, we'd have been mowed down like dogs. Yeah. And check this out. Check this out. They overran the Capitol because they lost an election. We are out here losing our lives every day unjustifiably to the police. What if we would have overran the Capitol for Breonna Taylor? What if we would have overran the Capitol for Sandra Bland or Tamir Rice? What they would have done, they would have killed us. And speaking of Tamir Rice, his mother is asking President Biden to reopen her son's investigation. Joe Biden has not responded yet. You know what he's doing? The same thing Obama did for black people. Not a damn thing.
Do you believe there is any policy or legislation that will stop police executions of black people? Like, you think, like, if they implement the George Floyd Policing Act, will it stop the executions of black people?
That act. But my suspicions are it doesn't really have any teeth in it, because when I look at the act that Nancy Pelosi introduced, the police reform bill, right around the time that the George Floyd riots kicked off, it didn't have no teeth in it. First and foremost, the unjustified murder of a black person by a police officer should automatically be charged as a hate crime. No.
So yeah, students, tell me what y'all think about that in the comments. This is crazy, man. Envy, man, and you called yourself a coon after all of that too, man. Come on, we got to do better, man. You one of the black leaders in the community. At least I thought you were trying to lead. So come on, man. Let's do better on that. DJ Envy, man, I want you to try to like explain to us further what you mean by this, so you know we could get some understanding, because I don't really get what you're trying to say. But we just need to look at the history of what's been going on, how infrastructure is set up, systematic racism, subtle, overt racism is all prevalent. It's everywhere, and it's been like that for a long time. And Envy, what Umar Johnson is saying is that what about the other killings that's been going on with people who did the shootings, who were white male, and you know nothing happened to them? They were carefully placed in the cars and taken to the facilities, opposed to indigenous people or black people that cops don't really understand or know much about, so they fear and they decide to fatally kill, shoot at the time being. So students, tell me what y'all think about that, and what are we gonna do about this as the people. Shout outs to everyone, the Breakfast Club, you know, DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. Shout outs to everybody, man. One love.